I'm recording this session so I can upload it. If you have any problem with the recordings, just please let me know. And also, uh, somebody's arriving. If you have any problem with the recording, just let me know. If you have any doubts, either in class or through email, just let me know. You know, in the syllabus is my are noted my hours, but I'm available uh, essentially anytime. So if you want to talk about something, just let me know, and we can agree in a schedule, and we can work on whatever you need help with. So now announcements. When you enter into the this my lab application, you might find two two classes, two courses with my name on them. So it's just the 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 icon on the right that it says fall 2020. The other one is a dummy I play with before accepting this book to be used in this class this semester. So remember, it's just the icon that says fall 2020, and also once inside of my lab, and also is written in the syllabus. Just follow the syllabus and look at the number of the class, and it's that one. Second announcement: we have a new classmate. Welcome, Octavio. He's coming from Michigan. Guy from engineering who's taking this class, and that's pretty much it. So let's start with the with the chapter. Just let me make sure is somebody's arriving, and just let me make sure that we are being recorded. I believe we are being recorded. Okay, perfect. So now, chapter 2. We are in marketing. So uh, people say that marketing is easy. Is not true. Marketing is very difficult. It's quite difficult, and people think that marketing is easy because they see that there are some concepts, some constructs scattered everywhere, and so they believe marketing doesn't have a corpse. It's not a body of knowledge, which is not true. So in this chapter, we will work on some very sensitive constructs that many people, especially when you are starting in the university or is your second year in the university, you are a sophomore, and you don't really have still developed a very good, broad vision on business. So sometimes people believe that these concepts are lousy, are not well built. Actually, they are, and they are very complex. And it's a mess because in sciences, they develop laws, and and that's pretty much it. So if you have a good memory and you are smart enough to figure out where that law is applicable, so you come up with a formula, and that formula is whatever solves your problem, and with that your life. Of course, it's a very simplistic way to see engineering in general, sciences in general, but that's pretty much as it happens. They figure out some natural laws, They applied those natural laws to specific settings. That's it. Easy peasy. We don't have that. We don't have laws. We guess. In finance, you are guessing. In accounting, you are guessing. In management, you are guessing. In social sciences, you are guessing. Sometimes you are fortunate enough to figure out that somewhere someone could come up with a formula that will solve that specific topic you are talking about. But in general, we are guessing, and that is the reason we make a lot of assumptions, like many assumptions. When you are valuing a firm, a corporation, and you are saying this corporation, now Apple is $2 trillion, the market value. You know what? They are guessing. It's not true. Everything is a guess. The way you guess in the social sciences is what makes the difference. Let's start with this chapter. This chapter is very important because we will talk in this chapter about some aspects of it, about some concepts related to strategy. And strategy is kind of one of the key success factors for any company. So watch out. You will see that apparently some constructs are loose, are not related each other. Oh, they are. And you don't follow them and you lose your money. Easy peasy. So let's start. Let me start sharing the screen share. Yes, is this one. And let's start with should be this one. Yes, it's this one. Okay. Now, let's start with it results that, as I told you in the first chapter, everything is about listening the customer. You listen to the customer, you figure out needs, wants, and demand. And so you come up with a value proposition. And that value proposition, if you are lucky, you will make a big hit, such as it happened with Nike. Is the secret of these guys was to build a sense of community, of belonging, a sense where you purchase their marketing offerings and you would become part of a family. And that is part of their genius. They knew how to create this awareness of the brand among specific segments. Segmentation. Remember, we will talk about that now. Now, the one moment, please. It's because I have a mess here. Now, strategic planning. Strategy is the key concept in this class, in marketing in general. Today, the Department of Strategy, all the functions of strategy are performed by the CEO and his team, by the board in all the big corporations, and they decide which one will be the strategy to follow. Strategic planning is the process of developing and maintaining a strategic fit between the organization's goals and capabilities and its changing marketing opportunities. This refers to this assertion refers to the fact that whatever you are offering to the market has to have a fit with the market, has to have a segment, has to have an ending consumer. And that's the reason why in strategy, in organizational strategy, is so key today to be nimble enough to change to whatever is new in the market. And now today, you have to find out what they are expecting from you and be able to make the jump very fast. And that's the reason now the corporations, if you look at the corporations in the before in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they were large corporations. Today, everybody likes small corporations. And the reason of that is that you can adapt yourself very fast. You are able to relearn whatever you are doing and offer something sound to the market. And in the process, teach everybody working for you. That's the reason now the strategic business unit, another concept we will talk about today, are frequently small units because you have to be able to change, to adapt yourself to whatever the market is asking from you. Now, sorry, I'm a little bit sick of the throat. It's not coronavirus, but it's the cold in this place. Okay, what do you do? Let's talk about strategy. These are the steps, okay? First step, you decide, you figure out a mission. A mission is a statement. I'm here because of, it's a short statement, closed, directed to somebody very specific. We provide to the customers the best experience at drinking coffee in our lobby, period. The difficult part in marketing is to think straightforward. You have to be smart and be able to think in primitive terms, very basic terms, in such a way that when you tell the mission statements to somebody, they or he or she understand what you are saying. Remember, it's a sentence, a closed, straightforward sentence. From that sentence, I'm here to produce the best coffee drinking experience in the lobby of my restaurants. After that, now you set the company's goals and objectives. So in Laramie, let's assume I'm opening the competition, the competitor of Starbucks here in Laramie. So which are my goals? To get in 2 years half of the market share Starbucks has currently in Laramie. That sounds impossible. Well, what about 1/5 of 1/10, 10% of the market share or of the sales of those guys? So which are your objectives? And those are statements. The goals are kind of broad. Now the goal would be, okay, I want to have a significant market share after 2 years of operation of my coffee shop. The objectives, short, clear statements, measure that you can measure. Always make everything in such a way that you can measure it. So, objective, have 5% of the billing today is received by Starbucks in Laramie. Objective number 2, have half of the awareness of Starbucks in Laramie among the population, the Laramie's population, which is, let's say, is my segment in this time. And now, after you have the objectives and the goals, remember, you start with the mission, broad statement. The goals, broad 2 or 3 statements supporting your mission. Objectives, in measurable terms, those goals that but rephrased. Next step, the business portfolio, and that's kind of key. The business portfolio will be the listing of all your marketing offerings you are selling to your segments. The menu, all the menu, all the menu, and whatever you are able to sell to your clientele. Now that you have up to the menu, now you have to go to the planning of marketing. Remember the 4 P's we talk about? Now you go there. How much are you going to charge? Where? Which promotions are you going to launch? We will talk about that a little bit with more detail now. So, this is an example. CVS, a pharmacy. CVS Health's overall mission is to be a pharmacy innovation company, one that is helping people on their way to better health. That's it. That's it. Straightforward statement. What it wants to accomplish, okay? Watch out. If you don't make a mission statement that is clear and is directed towards value creation processes, you may lose everything. These are just ways to increase the probability of success. It doesn't guarantee you will be successful in the market. Just ways to do it to minimize mistakes. Now, these are examples. Product-oriented definition is, well, we sell coffee and snacks. You don't do that. You don't tell that to people, because you will say, they will ask you, well, which one is the difference with Walmart? Why shouldn't I go to Walmart instead of going to your restaurant? They corrected. They said the Starbucks experience, one that enriches people's lives in one moment, one human being, one extraordinary cup of coffee at a time. Panera is something very similar. If you look at all the corporations, the mission statement will always bring words that are, you want to hear them, such as customer value, such as enriching experience, such as happiness. And that's what you are actually trying to accomplish with your organization. Now, once you have, remember I told you, once you have the mission, short, clear, a statement that is value oriented, customer value oriented. Now you go for the goals and the objectives. Watch out. The goals can be broad statements, supporting always the mission statement. But now the business objectives are different to marketing objectives. I told you, you do the mission, after that, goals and objectives. The objectives can be for business, can be for marketing, can be for finance. You normally don't play with you don't play with your money. You bring somebody to play with their money. Okay, it sounds unethically and like not a very ethical, right? You invite investors to share the benefits. Same thing, different way to say it. You bring the investors to grow your business. So the objectives, the business objectives are communicated to investors, to employees, sometimes to customers, especially when you are a public organization. If you are a public company, you are obliged by law to, to issue the financial reports where you are stating the business objectives for that year and for the next year, and sometimes for the next 5 years. Now, the marketing objectives, they are completely compatible with the business objectives, but they look like different. In this example, we have increased market share, create local partnerships, increase promotion. Market share means of each 10 cell phones sold in Laramie, I sell 2. So I have a 20% market share in Laramie. Is that easy? The industries are organized in such a way they care about how many units are being sold of whatever their marketing offerings are. And there are industrial reports telling you how many phones were sold in the US this year. To tell you something, there are thousands and thousands of products. You can get the reports and figure out how many were sold in those years, in the last years. Now let me jump towards the business portfolio. The business portfolio is the list of all your marketing offerings from which you are trying to make some money. Okay? It's the list of things you sell. But now you have to analyze what you are selling. You have to figure out if what you are doing is right or not. And that's the portfolio analysis. And that's a big thing in corporations. And we say it's a major activity in strategic planning, whereby management evaluates the products and businesses that make up the company. And there are specific techniques to do that. You are offering a specific number of products and services or just marketing offerings. You list them out and you start figuring out what your business is and what your business is not. So let me give you a definition. Strategic business unit can be a company division, a product line, inside or within a division, or a single product or a single brand. You have all your marketing offerings. So you classify them and you create a listing or topology of whatever you are selling, and you group them. And you can group them either by the management of the business, or by the brand, or by the production system, in such a way that you create groups. And those groups are called strategic business units. This is very important because you have all the listings of things you are selling, and you are selling large bunch of things. But suddenly you decide that if you are a retailer such as Ridley's, you know what? I don't want to, I don't want to sell um, soft drinks. If we look at our business in soft drinks, I don't see that that's a good business. It's taking a lot of space on the shelves, and it's just giving me probably 2 cents by each bottle. So I don't want that. So probably there is one person who's responsible of everything about soft drinks inside of Ridley's. And they tell him, you know what, or her, you're out. We don't want your strategic business unit anymore. The most probably is that the person will say, you know what, bad for you, because I sell anchor products. Sometimes people just come, step inside of the stores because they want to drink something. It's an anchor family. It's a family of anchor products. These products are attracting customers, are increasing traffic inside of the store. You don't want it? Are you crazy? How are you going to attract the people? But it's not profitable. Who cares? It's a hook. They will come to purchase salt drinks. So the most probable thing that will happen, they will say, oh, okay, stay where you are, because actually we need you. And that happens in the strategic business units. Sometimes you want to get rid of them. Sometimes you didn't run a proper analysis of your business portfolio, and you may damage the business in general. So you want to have a sound business portfolio. So first of all, do your categorization of business units you have, of business in general. Try to find common denominators that help you to group your business. So identify the strategic business units, or SBUs. Try to make an assessment. How much money are you getting? And if you are not getting too much money from there, why? Why should you tolerate these guys? And now decide how much money you want to push to that strategic business unit. And that is made by the board, that by the CFO, by the CEO, the chief financial officer, the chief executive officer, the chief marketing officer. They decide how much money will pipe in the strategic business units in such a way that overall the company will increase its value. Now, there are some specific ways to do this. One of the most common ways is by just do your analysis on how everybody else is doing theirs. And this is by using some specific metrics that are well known. One of those are by the Boston Consulting Group growth share matrix. These guys are in Boston. I believe they were born by MBA students from Harvard and from the MIT. If you have the opportunity, when you graduate from the university, do not hesitate in sending your resume to the Boston Consulting Group or to Nielsen or to Bain. There are some other consulting groups. Those will provide you a very sound, nice working experience that you eventually will be able to to go somewhere else. So based on the BCG or Boston Consulting Group growth share matrix, we have 4 kinds of strategic business units. Before it was called, think about them as just products. And so you have 2 axes, the market growth rate axis in the Y's and the relative market share in the X's. So when you have a business which market growth rate is slow, is very mature, is not growing anymore, is not bringing new products. For example, wallets, very common. Everybody, you can find any kind of wallets. The market growth of that industry is just null. But what about if you are a very good brand? Everybody knows you. Everybody wants your wallets. So you have a cash cow. And remember, cows are there to get the milk, right? Same thing. You have those well-positioned strategic business units in a market with low growth rate, just to get the cash. Just cash, 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 cash. That's the ideal strategic business unit. You plan the business and you just receive the benefits. Yes, 50 years later, takes a long time. Well, what about other? Probably you want to open your own business and not immediately you will have a cash cow. So what else can you have? Well, what about if you go for the information systems industry? You found out a new way to do a data analysis. And well, you know what? That segment in that industry is growing as crazy. All the tools for information systems, for business analytics is kind of the big thing today. Probably it will be your future. It will be in your future. It probably is worth to take a look at that. So what about if you launch something new, a new business solution, and you know what, you are selling as nobody is selling. It's a new product and the market growth rate in that industry is very high. So you have a star, and the star is that product that is selling, has a very clear market advantage and is located in an industry that is growing a lot. So that's kind of your dream, to have something like that, find something like that. There is another possibility. You launch a new product, but you know what? It was a big mistake. You went into an industry that is not growing anymore, doesn't offer any growth, and you have a very tiny participation of that market. So you will have a dog strategic business unit. So you are not selling, and there are not promises. The industry is not growing. What about if you found out there is an industry that is growing a lot, but you launch your marketing offering and it's not getting sold that you would like to? What do you do with that? How can you do something? Those are the question marks. They are located in the proper industry. They are new, but they are not selling too much. So you have to change something. In each of those 4 business strategic units, strategic business units, You have to come up with something in marketing research. You have to figure out what to do. So if you already have a cash cow, you want the cash cow to last as much as possible. Just don't sell it. It's yours. Just take advantage of it. What about if you have a star? Well, that's dangerous. Stars are the most frequently business cited in the listings of new bankruptcies. And mainly is because they couldn't control the business processes and they ran into much more debt that the business actually allowed to do. So stars are kind of a dream. You can aim at the stars, but they are very dangerous. You want stars. You want the star to be pulled into a cash cow, to convert it into a cash cow. But watch out, because businesses most frequently fail not when they have low sales, unless there is a pandemic. So nobody's selling yet, you have to close. But if you are not performing so well as others, probably it's probable that you have mature business processes and it's more difficult for you to fail. Whereas those new kids in the block are the most frequent to fail unless they have somebody very smart behind them. So they convert the star, in a cash cow. Now the question mark. You are not selling in a very promissory marketplace. What do you do? Okay, you want to convert the question mark into star and immediately, as soon as possible, make it a cash cow, as soon as possible. And finally, the dog. What do you do with the dog? Well, doesn't sound well, but you put the dog to sleep. You kill it. You sell it to somebody else. And probably that somebody else will say, you know what? That dog you sold me brought a lot of business processes improvements that made me profitable again in my industries. So that happened, for example, to Nortel. Nortel used to be a very well-known, like in 2004, very famous, very famous information systems corporation, a Canadian. They were in telecommunications. They are very well known. At the end, they failed. They failed, they closed, and Ericsson bought them, and they capitalized all the business processes from Nortel, and Ericsson saw, boost their performance in such an important way that today Ericsson worldwide is one of the top 3 telecommunications companies of the world. Many people don't know that. Many people don't know that today it's highly probable that you are talking by using your cell phone through an Ericsson network and you don't know that. Yes, bought by Verizon or AT&T, or at the end, all the cables and the know-how is from Ericsson. Now, this is a classic matrix in marketing. Don't put it away. Memorize it. Just remember it. The Boston Consulting Group. Now, there are some difficulties because theoretically it's very comfortable using the matrices. Well, it's not like that. Always there are difficulties in measuring the market share, the growth, the it's time consuming, it's very expensive because you have to run sometimes market research, and that is very expensive, and it doesn't focus on the future. Normally they focus on whatever is happening now, and well, that's kind of not that useful. But these analyses are necessary because you know what, your competitor is today running them. They are paying attention, so you have to do it as well. Now, this is another grid. What to do? The product market expansion grid. You have already a business running. What do you do? Well, you have kind of four possibilities. You have existing products and existing markets. Nothing is new. So what do you do? Try to sell more. Try to sell more. Push the products to the existing customer base. Just push the products. What about if you have new products in existing markets? Well, develop more the product. For example, you know, Apple is coming up with their own processor. So now the Macs, they will not use the Intel-based processors. They will use the ARM processor produced by Apple. And it's the same market, but now they developed a new marketing offering in such a way that they are saying that, for example, the Mac Mini will be more mini because it's a improved performance with in a smaller package, and designed for whatever they are doing in software. So they went for the product development. What about if you have an existing product and you have to explore a new market for that existing product? Well, you have to develop the market. You have to teach the people how to use that existing thing in a new way. And that is exactly what makes you to find a renewed customer base. So the thing you know how to do it. Now find new ways to, you know, to push your marketing offering. For example, there are rumors, the new Samsung watch will be able to take your pressure and measure your oxygen. So same thing in a new market. So you have just to teach the people how to do it. And now you have new products and new markets. So just diversify. The strategy is just diversify. You produce a microphone, now start producing the cables. And if you are really bold, start producing the contents. So you are a corporation that produces microphones and contents. Very good example. Have you seen the car maker, the cars, Kia, the Kia cars? They launched their new model in 95, 96. Before that, they used to be a bicycles producer. They didn't produce cars. But somebody came to in the corporation and said, well, let's diversify. Let's change now our main line of business. We produce bicycles and cars. And it sounded crazy. They did it. And today some of you are driving a Kia car. Now, something very important. As you grow, as you plan to grow, you have to plan to downsize. If you don't plan the downsizing and you just do it, oh, you risk to lose everything. because probably you will, when you do the downsizing without planning well, probably you will give up your key strategic advantage, and that probably is maintaining you in the market. So as you plan to grow, think about planning to downsize. So you figure out you have a dog, a business, strategic business unit that is a dog, get rid of it, but do it in order. Don't nilly-willy sell it. Try to do it in a rational way, smart way. Now, here, there is an important thing. Always you have a supplier and you have a customer. So try to integrate yourself into a value chain. So in such a way that the supplier and you are producing at the same time to fulfill a customer need, needs, wants, or demand. In such a way, you also can integrate the customer. For example, there are corporations. Let's assume that you are producing keyboards, and the keyboard requires aluminum. Well, you can tell the producer. Let's assume that I'm the aluminum producer. I can offer my customer, the keyboard producer, to go inside of his factory, ask him a specific closed space, a large space, and I will do the final step of my production inside of his factory. That concept is coming from the 90s. It's called factory in factory. The idea is to create that value chain that allows a better understanding of what the value that is being produced and consumed is. Looks like it's very lousy. All the concepts we are using in marketing, they are completely interrelated, but is not obvious. I have to make a lot of definitions for you. And now when we jump into a specific way of marketing, you will understand better each of these constructs. Now, for example, Walmart. What they do is just completely they are completely integrated with their suppliers. So they use EDI. EDI helps you, for example, you went to purchase napkins. When you go to the aisle with napkins, there are only two. So you take one and you say, well, whoever gets the last one, eventually they will clean up their mouths with tissue or something. You don't know this, but Walmart knows the inventory level, and already the purchase order has been issued to the supplier. Everything is electronic. Nobody had to take account on the inventory. It's automatically replenished. The purchase orders are automatically produced and everything is automatically replenished, and it's wonderful. And that's another concept, a very old concept, a kind of a really, really old concept of having communication of your inventory levels with the suppliers. You want to produce value for your customers. So why don't you get a hand from your supplier? A very nice example, which is not mentioned in the book, so I just put it there, is the example of the 4T. the first corporation in producing cars was Ford, and they sold the 40 like for 20 something years, like for many years. They didn't think that they had to change the model, and that gave opportunity to Chrysler and General Motors to come up with marketing offerings. But in this case, probably is one of the first good examples of what a value chain means. Ford outsourced the construction of the engines to somebody else. One day, that somebody else found that they could deliver the engines to the Ford plant in a different way. So they changed the package. So Mr. Ford told the supplier, please don't change the way you package your engines. And the guy said, well, why not? What is the problem? Please don't do it. We have already arranged everything to receive your engine as it goes. So that day, the guy went back to your engines factory. He was driving his 4T, and he stumbled when he was going in the car, and he discovered that the sound was like wood. Actually, the floor of the car was his box. He never realized he was selling to Ford also the floor of the car. And this is a very good example of how value change informed to the suppliers or clients or not. They do exist, and you want that to produce value for your customers. Now, look at this slide, please. You are creating value and relationships. So what do you do? Remember the example of the bar? You go, you see the market. You organize the market in your mind or through an analysis, and you create groups or segments. What you are doing is segmentation of the market. Once you have the groups of the market that are the market that divide the market. So now you choose one, pick one segment for whatever reason you choose, but pick one segment. Inside of that segment, that's targeting. Now that you have targeted the segment that you want to approach, now start delivering your marketing offering, but make it different. Try to pull something that is different to whatever they are receiving. Either, remember, low price or very high quality. And once you have decided how to make the differentiation, position your marketing offering. This product is only for the best, is the best quality, the most expensive, or maybe the cheapest. This is the cheapest with acceptable quality. Just a portable speaker. Just position your marketing offering. And from there, now go outside of that circle and you will see the marketing mix. Now that you know which segment you targeted, how you differentiate it, and how you are positioned, act in accordance. So define a product, the characteristic of the product, put a price, promote it, and define where are you going to be, where is it going to be sold. The if you go to Ralph Lauren, the store, and you pick a polo shirt is probably $90, $100. The production of that shirt was, the cost was $1. But they are telling you, they are selling to you quality. You are not going to find it in Walmart. It's not the place for that for that polo shirt. Is that really different to those in Walmart? No. In quality, in the tissue, in the materials, no. Actually, sometimes are the same. But the positioning of that specific product is different. So this is another message, important message to you. You define your product, you value your product, and you sell the product with that value. If you have to charge your customer, don't feel bad. They have to pay. That's a very difficult lesson for some of us. If you have a good product, customer has to pay. Charge the customer. Don't be afraid. If it's worth it, the customer will pay. Just watch out that you are profitable, but because probably you are not going to be profitable. And once you have decided the marketing mix, remember, always continue doing the marketing analysis, do your marketing planning, take your decisions, implement, and control your actions. And the next slides describe these steps better. Now, so let's go back very fast. I already explained to you the rest of the chapter, but let's go very fast back. So marketing strategy is the marketing logic by which the company hopes to create customer value and achieve profitable customer relationships. So your marketing strategy is just define what are you going to sell. By doing these smart steps, I'm telling you, this recipe of how to do it is nothing new. It has been around for many, many years. Wars have been won following these strategies, because in marketing, we believe everything is in war, and we are going outside to conquer markets. Now, as I told you, in order to build this customer value-driven marketing strategy, do your segmentation. Now, the segmentation, as I told you now, some couple of times, is just a group of consumers. And they respond in a similar way to a given set of marketing efforts. So those are groups that you figure out somehow they will respond. There is a very important thing that the book, I don't know why they don't mention it. I believe they don't mention it. Is when you pick up a segment, make sure it's measurable. You can measure it. You can provide to them, and it's profitable. Because if you have, that means that's though there are enough number of people who are willing to buy your marketing offering. Because if not, if you try a segment of 2 people, your business is not going to prosper ever, like ever. So now that you have the segmentation, pick one, target that segment. Say, okay, I will only, you know what, I did a study. I got very confused, very, very confused, because I found out that there is a very profitable marketing segment to do business among 40 40 to 45 years old females who play because they play Xbox. Many of them, like many, play Xbox. I didn't know that. So that's a very nice segment. The size is profitable. Not many marketing offerings in on that platform, Xbox and PlayStation. You, you can sell something through those two platforms to that specific segment of females 40 to 45 years old, middle class, income. I'm remembering the household income of $60,000. You can sell them a lot of things, and many people, if you use Xbox or PlayStation, if you remember, there are not many offerings for those people, but they are there. They are playing. It's crazy. So you could try to target to them through these platforms, and so probably you can, I don't know, you could create a a, a, a line of pants, sports pants, to play sports on the Xbox platform. I don't know what kind of sports they prefer, but you may position your brand as the most ingenious and new, uh, focused, new new materials, clothes, sports pants made out of new ecological materials, sold through the Xbox platform to the PlayStation platform for females from 40 to 45 years old. That's a big segment, probably is profitable. You have to run your marketing research project to confirm. And because you are selling ecologically acceptable and high quality, you are differentiating yourself. So that's a just food for thought. But you will be able probably to find out that business opportunity that will allow you to come up with uh, an idea that will result in a profitable organization, or you will be invited to work for one. Just don't mess it up. And in this positioning, in this way, to in the mind of those of the people inside of that segment, you can tell them, well, I'm different. The book will give you the example of Lime 5, this company Lime, which is to transport yourself in the cities, or you have natural grocers. This company, is for those people who want to try the organic way of life, and well, they are positioned as a corporation a retailer that will sell you only organic, only healthy options. One moment, please. Remember, 4 steps in the marketing mix. This is just repeating the same things I told you before. 4 ways, four aspects of the marketing mix is product, what are you going to sell? Price, how much are you going to charge those people in the segment you are aiming at or you are targeting? Where are you going to sell the thing? And which promotions are you going to launch? And that's very sensitive. The promotions, there is a very good example that happened in Mexico of this high quality deodorant for women. They launched the highest quality, and they promoted that deodorant they reduced the price at a half, as an introductory promotion for 6 months. So when they wanted to adjust, when they tried to adjust the price to the original price, they couldn't, because everybody thought that deodorant is a cheap deodorant. So you have to be very sensitive towards how to promote, which promotions are you going to launch. Tesla is known because high quality and high quality and the the technology in our cars. Also, there are a new movement toward changing the 4 Ps of product, price, place, and promotion, convert them into the 4 As. And those 4 As describe the customer and are acceptability, affordability, accessibility, and awareness. Go to page 52, 53 of your book, and you will find a better explanation of that. And that's kind of the thing that it will change with your generation. In my generation, it was just product, price, place, and promotion. But for you, it will eventually change to those 4 As that uh, they should be produced by the marketers. Now, last 2 more slides and we stop. I'm sorry I'm so boring. I'm trying to not to be so boring, but I will come up with new formulas to be more entertaining, because really, I saw my first video and I thought, oh my God. Oh my God, I wouldn't take that class, but okay, I will try to improve. So now, this slide. This is how you manage the marketing effort and how you make money out of marketing. That's the whole point. You are hired because you are supposed to bring money to the companies. So this is the way to do it. There is an analysis phase where you have all the strategic business units, and you try to figure out what to do. You evaluate them. After that, you do your planning. You use the matrices I showed you before, and you develop your strategic plans that could include divesting from some strategic business units that are not profitable. If you have to kill a dog, just kill the dog. Don't get obsessed with that dog. And that happens always, not always, but sometimes with when you have a family attachment in the organization and you have this business unit that is not producing, but your aunt is the owner of the store. If you have to get rid of that, just give her a way to go out of the corporation. Stock options, as a soft deal, a soft way to purchase from you the store, the strategic business unit, you name it. So once you have the planning, including those strategic business units that you have to get rid of them, you do the implementation and you organize surrounding the 4 Ps. How are you going to do things? And this is very important. It's much more related to cost accounting, but these are just one introductory chapter of marketing. You have to control whatever you are spending. So measure your results. If you launch a campaign that is not increasing sales, get rid of it. Evaluate results, and if you have whatever corrective actions you have to do, just go for them. We will stop here. I will try to do this more entertaining, because I feel it's a very good stuff, but it's too long. Some chapters are too long, and these are very specific constructs. that you have to have in your mind if you are or not sleeping in this class. Remember those constructs. And next class, we will talk about 2 more slides from this chapter, and we will jump into chapter 3. Do you have any question? Remember, if you don't want to have questions now, you can send me the questions. If you want to have a meeting, Zoom, to talk about something, just tell me at what hour. And that will be it. No more questions? No questions? Anybody? So with this, we finish. And thank you very much for paying attention. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.